Okay, let's get into this one right here. In the car again today, up and early. Got to take care of some business. Probably won't be able to do another video today. Maybe so, maybe not. But it's just funny now that Paul Pierce is on Undisputed. And, we thought this was going to be the guy that would, kind of like go against LeBron and, kind of like talk bad about LeBron's fake legacy and stuff like that. And, he did start out that way, but eventually, what did he start doing? Kissing LeBron's booty hole, right? Right? Because we thought because LeBron should take a back seat on the team, play less minutes and stuff like that, we thought, he was really taking a shot at LeBron. But, the next episode, he's saying all this good stuff about LeBron and all this stuff, man. This guy, if I'm not mistaken, I thought this was the same guy that said LeBron was the GOAT after he won the championship in 2020. I'm not sure, but man, these guys can't make up their mind. I think Charles Barkley said that after he won the championship in 2020. There's no real people on TV. There's no real opinions and stuff like that. We should have known, because even Skip Bayless, now he says that LeBron is this and that and that. You think Skip Bayless be dissing LeBron, but he really don't? Skip Bayless, go look how he changed his tune. Once he said that stuff about, what's this guy's name? DeMar Hamlin? Once he said that stuff about DeMar Hamlin and all that stuff popped off, next thing you know, Skip was kissing LeBron's butt after that. He really didn't go after LeBron like that. And trust me, he's never went at LeBron like you would think, right? A lot of people say, oh, Skip is, critical about LeBron. Man, you can slice and dice and pick LeBron apart so bad, they would never talk about this guy on TV again if they really want to talk about his career and end it for this guy. They really don't, right? It's all fake. The Rob Parkers, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Chris Broussards, they put this guy second. They're not going to put him in front of Jordan, but he's second, right? This is just to sell the NBA, right? They need to sell an American face, and that's fine, because people with common sense like me, we all know the NBA is going to tank out like the MLB once LeBron is gone, for better or worse, right? He's the face. In the United States, we love controversy. We love soap operas. That's what we love. That's what sells sports, right? Take MLB. They got rid of 90% of the American players. What happened? It tanked because we like soap operas and we like drama, right? In sports, we just don't like somebody hitting the ball, shooting the ball, catching the ball or throwing the ball or something like that. We like a soap opera to go with it, right? So what happened? The Latinos can't bring the soap opera because they're not going to get in trouble. They're not going to be defiant. If they go to jail, right? Or something like that, or get charges, they're going to get deported, right? So they can't really bring that soap opera like that, right? It's always been the so-called, quote-unquote, Black Americans, right? That always bring the soap opera. So once they put them out of the MLB, their league was dead, right? And we see that they continue to put Americans in general, Black Americans, out of basketball. So the NBA knows that their league is gonna be dead, right? After, because they're putting American players out. It's kind of funny because they kind of did it reverse, right? In the MLB, they started putting all the black players out of MLB first, and they kept some of the white players. In basketball, they put the white players out first and kept the black players. But eventually both leagues are putting American players out, right? You still got some black American players left in basketball, NBA, but the numbers are starting to dwindle down because most of your black players now are like Caribbean, Canadian, African, even European. So the black Americans are starting to disappear. Anyways, just telling that facts. They're never going to tell these facts on ESPN, right? They're never going to say nothing about that, right? So Yeah, LeBron James, he was owned by Paul Pierce in the playoffs, right? LeBron James was owned by Paul Pierce in the playoffs. LeBron could never beat Paul Pierce in the playoffs until LeBron went and got a super team. Oh, you can't say that, man. He beat Paul Pierce in the playoffs, man. Did he beat Paul Pierce in the playoffs without a super team? Because I don't remember that. I just don't remember this. I remember 06, him never playing Paul Pierce in the playoffs. 07, he didn't play Paul Pierce in the playoffs. 08, as soon as he faced Paul Pierce the first time, what'd he do? He pooped his pants. He was just coming off the NBA Finals, pooped all over himself, right? I think he shot like 39% from the field. It was something crazy, like 23% from three, 60-something% from the free throw line. He averaged like 5 turnovers a game. It was epic. And it's just funny because he just came off of a meltdown in 07, right? In the finals. This is how weak this era is. And I keep saying this, and we're going to keep making videos about this, how weak the LeBron era was, right? A guy that played in the weakest early 2000s in the East, right? In NBA history. That was the weakest East in NBA history since the 1950s. Not the 60s, not the 70s, not the 80s, not the 90s, the early 2000s, right? Teams like, I'm not trying to be mean, but the Nets was making it to the finals, right? Back to back with nobody on that team, right? Except Jason Kidd. In the 80s, the 90s, you had to have like, even the 60s sometimes, you had to have 3 to 5 Hall of Famers on your team just to make it to the finals. Wow. So, let me give it to you one more again. LeBron missed the playoffs his first 2 seasons in that weak East. Gets in the playoffs now, because they did away with hand checking and elbows in the back in the post. Defense, really, right? They got rid of defense. And suddenly LeBron makes the playoffs. He takes a 3-2 lead going back home against the Pistons. The mighty Pistons, right? A team where they can even score 20 points. Neither player on the starting 5 scored 20 points. What's that all about? Took a 3-2 lead going back home. Pooped all over himself in games 5 and game 6. Go check out his averages, his percentages. Guy poops all over himself, right? It was a meltdown. It wasn't a choke job because nobody expected this guy to win, right? He did what he had to do, take him to game 7, but he could have closed it out. But we're showing how weak that era was. The next season, in 07, he makes it to the finals, right? With no Hall of Fame teammate, no top 75 teammate. What? And this time Ben Wallace is going off the Pistons. So, and it showed as soon as he got to the finals, he did not deserve to go there, right? He melts down. Epic fashion. We already knew, right? 04, he didn't get to get into the Olympics because his rookie season, he was a minus 144 for the season. Shot 41% from the field as a forward. Lord help me. So they already knew that this guy was trash. They wouldn't even let this guy in the game. Carmelo Anthony was playing and D Wade was playing. Marshall, all these rookies was playing, but not LeBron, not the chosen one. And they got beat by plumbers. So, 08, he faces his first so-called super team that came together. None of these guys can win an MVP. I think they both came out of the West, if I'm not mistaken. Ray Allen and Garnett, right? They needed these guys to come out of the West just to make the East competitive. And Shaq too, right? They needed Shaq to come out of the West just to make that competitive, right? That East was so weak, boy. Oof. Wow, talk about expansion era. Oof. Wow. This made the expansion era look like the dream team. I mean, So he poops in his pants against Paul Pierce, against his first super team. Michael Jordan was setting playoff records against his first super team, the Celtics, off of a broken foot, homie. Let's don't forget that. But Jordan was supposed to beat the Celtics. 4 top 75 players and a Hall of Fame player. Jordan was supposed to beat the Celtics in his second year off of a broke foot, right? With no Hall of Fame teammate. And this dude could have just sat out, right? And didn't even play. Actually, he could have sat out that year that he had a broken foot in the next year, because this is what these guys would have did, right? But Jordan wasn't having it. And this is why you hear about Michael Jordan today, right? 09. LeBron had the best record in the league. Wasn't MVP. Didn't play the super team Celtics, but melted down to Orlando. 2010. Here comes those big bad mighty Celtics, right? That didn't even make the finals in 09, right? The Magic did. Woo, big mighty Boston super team Celtics. You know, the Magic that beat LeBron in 09, the number 3 seed. 2010. Guess what? Here's the big bad mighty Boston Celtics. They're the 4th seed. Wow, LeBron has the number 1 seed over these guys. And he don't want another MVP over a super team. They're so good they can't even win an MVP between them, right? And LeBron has the best record in the league again. And LeBron melts down in epic fashion against his number 4 seed Boston Celtics. And Paul Pierce sends LeBron packing again, right? Go look at the averages. Go look at the stats. This guy melts down again. And he had loaded teams, right? He had Wally Zerbiak on these teams, Ben Wallace, Antoine Jamison, Boobie Gibson, Mo Williams, El Gauskas. I mean, these teams was loaded, bro. These teams were loaded, and that's how they had the number 1 seed in the entire NBA. These teams were loaded. The difference was LeBron melting down like ice, right, in big games. Let me give it to you like this. The first, in 2008, the first game in the playoffs against the Celtics, LeBron had 12 points, 10 turnovers, shot 11% from the field, 0% from 3, a -7 game 2, 21 points, 7 turnovers, 25% from the field, 0% from 3, -15 game 6, 32 points, 4 turnovers, 36% from the field, and 0% from 3. And just some notable names. In 08, he had El Gauskas, 2-time All-Star, Hall of Famer Ben Wallace. 2010, he had Mo Williams on that team, an All-Star. Shaq, Hall of Famer. Antoine Jamison, I think he was a 2-time All-Star. El Gauskas, 2-time All-Star. LeBron had the best record. So in 2010, 22 points. This is game 4, 7 turnovers, 36% from the field, -10. Game 5, 15 points, 3 turnovers, 21% from the field, -22. Game 6, 27 points, 9 turnovers, 38% from the field, and a -5. So, look, bro, this was the mighty super team of the Celtics that Kobe took care of in the finals. They won 1 championship in 08. I think they were together for like 6 years. It took for LeBron to go build a super team to beat these guys who couldn't even get the number 1 seed but one time. The difference was LeBron melting down. That's why, he pretty much handed the Celtics, a trip to the finals. Both times he played them, in 08 and 2010. I don't want to care. I don't care about them being a super team because, or him running to go build a super team to beat them, because remember, you guys said that Michael Jordan couldn't beat the Celtics. Michael Jordan couldn't beat the Pistons. Michael Jordan couldn't do this by himself. But guess what? He didn't run and go build a super team, right? He didn't run when he was playing from 86 all the way to 91. He was playing 3 to 5 Hall of Famers on one team. And most of those years, he didn't even have a guy who made the All-Star team, let alone be Hall of Fame, potential. So he didn't run and go build a super team. He didn't run away from home. That's how it was back in the league as a great star player. To prove who you was, you didn't run. Goats don't run. And they definitely don't run to other teams, to other players that don't won championships. This is when LeBron was disqualified from being the GOAT, from being in the GOAT race. He ran to two top 10 players at the time in the league, right? That's what LeBron did. I don't remember Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen ever winning any MVPs. That's how good these guys was, right? I mean, you won MVPs over these guys that build a super team. They built a super team because they was old, because they couldn't get it done on their own. So tell me what you think.